Hey, what up? What up? I'm back with y'all. Excuse me, I'm a little sick given the circumstances that it is in Ohio. Fucking cold as hell. Right now it's like 20 degrees, but I had to re-record this video because the last video I had it said it was too long. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try to jump into it a little bit quicker, a little bit smoother, a lot of less ums. And I just wanted to jump into the Baker and to the Hugh Jackson thing. Now, first of all, I want to go ahead and say this that I was absolutely on board, a fan of Hugh Jackson from the time of the hire. I mean, even to the firing. I thought it was a little premature, but given 2 games in, it seems like we're not doing as bad as I thought it was. I actually like Freddie Kitchen, and I do like Greg Williams. Given that said, what I want to chime in on is that I've been getting a lot of hearsay, she say. I know that or not he say, she say, but basically off of the main media outlets, First Take, Undisputed, The Herd, CBS Sports, all of them basically comment and try to figure this thing out. And I'm gonna just see if I could kind of crack this thing and give y'all an idea as far as what I think it might be from a fan's perspective. First off, we know that Hugh Jackson, is kind of like one of those press PC control coaches, and I mean, which is fine. You know what I mean? Stick to the script. You know what I mean? As far as being a black coach, and I don't mean to make this a race thing, but you being black, you're expected to be ignorant. To be less educated. Um, so given that he is very articulate in what he says, and he tries to he doesn't always say maybe exactly how he feels, and maybe he says what he says, but then at the same time, because he's trying to clean it up so much, that he can sometimes uh be contradicting. All right, so let's jump into this and let's see if maybe I might be right. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. So we'll jump into it this way. Obviously, we know we were on Hard Knocks this year, and that was interesting. It was like us being a fly on the wall. Okay. Uh, Now, what was the biggest thing about it? I think was that we did have the #1 pick. That we did have Baker. Um, like that was a big deal. So, and y'all know, y'all go back to my old videos. I've been advocating for Baker since day one. Before we even had him. Like I knew that was our quarterback, and after this, he is our quarterback, and I'll get to that later. So, excuse me. So basically, Hard Knocks things. I don't even think that was the game changer. Like everybody goes to make it. I don't think him checking him about as far as his work habits and things like that was really a big deal. Like everybody else was kind of make it. I think that really even him telling him that he was gonna be the backup wasn't even a big deal for real. I think Baker's not that type of person. He's a straight shooter, and he's somebody that likes to be dialed in. He likes to be focused, and whatever the plan is, he's sticking to it. So if he'll make adjustments along the way, but he's supposed to be he's somebody that will just go ahead and go through it. Now, Hugh Jackson going through a 1-31 season, immense pressure, people, on the hot seat. He feel it. He's on thin ice. So, he does everything that he can to maintain control. Todd Haley challenging that, broke that up. And as you could tell, people were starting to, around here, at least in Cleveland, it was like that was the beginning of it. That Hugh didn't know what he was talking about. Ty Haley knows what he's talking about because he came from the Steelers, and obviously he knows what he's talking about because the Steelers have been winning, and that must be what the Steelers are doing. So why don't we do what the Steelers are doing? And then Hugh Jackson, as far as a Hard Knocks take, his take was, when it's your team, you get to call the shots. All right, fine, cool. But we already knew who Ty Haley was, a jerk, from what I heard, and that was the reason why Tomlin got rid of him. You know what I mean? Because they weren't going to stand for that. Or Ben Roethlisberger wasn't even going to stand for it. So it's not even like more so a race thing. It was just like just the who he is. You know what I mean? He's somebody that's going to try to tell you how you feel, strong, opinionated, whatever, whatever. So, we breezed past that, but that was like the first opening. So then he's getting questioned about that. and then it has to go back and forth. Okay, let's fast forward a little bit faster until one of the games where uh, Denzel Ward makes a tackle. Okay, and Greg Williams says something about Denzel Ward. He says, if he would have tackled the way that I told him to tackle, we wouldn't have had this problem. He would be fine. All right, and I guess a little bit later, Hugh wanted to address Greg on that and basically said, we don't want to, say that about our players or whatever. Can you not, give that type of information out or talk about players like that? Now, that wasn't even like a throw under the bus type of thing to me. That was just him like, I done told your ass, like a parent trying to tell a kid, you know what I mean? If you would listen to me, I don't think it was as big as a deal as everybody was, as Hugh probably made it. But and then this is where it's going to come back into the story later. All right. He says, Greg, don't talk about him like that. And even though it wasn't a serious injury, I can see why a little bit as far as why you don't want to talk about it, because, maybe it could have been season injury, but whatever. So we moving forward, and we just going to jump into, let's say, I guess, you know what I mean? Let's get into the Jets. Fucking Baker comes in there, wins the game, nothing you could do. The man won. You know what I'm saying? And Tyrod's on the bench, but Baker handled that correctly. He kept saying Tyrod is still our leader on his team. Baker says the right thing, and he knows what to say. He's so fucking smart, man. That's why I love this guy. Is that he just knows what to say, and he has control over his thoughts, and he just knows. He's just intelligent as far as that goes. So then it starts getting a little bit worse because we weren't doing really well. I mean, we beat the Ravens, so we beat the Jets the one week. We lose to the Raiders on some bullshit the next week, and then we beat the Ravens, and then we get blasted by the Chargers, and then the Bucs game. Now this is where it gets big. Okay, the same man that doesn't want anybody getting thrown under the bus kind of throws Ty Haley under the bus, and I don't blame him, because it's true. You know what I'm saying? This is the whole reason why I got fired from the Steelers. That's what the Steelers fans were telling me, that Ty Haley will fuck up some shit. He will fuck up some play calls. So Hugh Jackson must have been feeling it, and he's already feeling immense pressure through him, and now Ty Haley's not really changing around. And then they're trying to challenge him for, power, and he's supposed to be the CEO coach and stuff like that. Okay, so what he does, kind of throws Ty Haley under the bus, saying that he needs to take more control of the offense, or he needs to involve himself more in the offense, which is pretty much a throw under the bus. Now, you just got on Greg Williams about all of that, and I think that's where the beef, friction, the static started for Baker there, because shortly after they asked Baker about that, and then Baker says, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We need to stick to what we're sticking to and just get better at that. So at that point, I think Hugh was starting to lose Baker from there, because when Baker's locked in on something, like I said, he's not trying to hear all that extra stuff. He's trying to he wants to know the goal, and he's gonna find ways to achieve that goal, and that's proven, because he's broken all our streaks already. You know what I'm saying? Our bad streaks. Thank you. And he's continuing to climb up. So at that point, I feel like that was it. And then you get there and you don't do anything, okay? And then you lose anyway after saying all this stuff. And he kind of was like, I guess the conversations he had with the Haslam, he felt he was untouchable. But little did he know, you know what I'm saying, John Dorsey was going to take control. You know what I'm saying? He's the GM now. And he talked to Haslam and he convinced them, okay? You know what I'm saying? And they sat him down and he got the boot. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, you get on a media tour, you get on First Take, you get on Undisputed and all those other things, and then you don't accept accountability. Now, Hugh always playing himself. I feel like Hugh played himself already with, how he was treating himself as a coach and how he did give up the offense. He kind of probably felt like he was going to be safe, because it can't be me, because he can't even do it. But he did win more games than what Hugh did. So, anyway, so he gets on First Take and all of that, and I can remember him going back and forth between I and we. But you say that you're the CEO coach, okay? But also it's a we decision. Oh, we made the decision to trade Josh, or you know, we made the decision to do this or that, but you the CEO coach. You talking about, or you the CEO, which means you get to make the decisions. Oh, whose decision was it to start Desmond Harrison? Oh, it was us. It was we. At the end of the day, if you're supposed to be quote unquote CEO coach, you got the final say as far as what product go out on that field. You know what I'm saying? John Dorsey's gonna get the talent. You say what was gonna happen on that field. Granted, I know Ty Haley might not have been listening to him or whatever have you, and that's what he was trying to do, is trying to convince them that, hey, you know, we need to let this guy go. But at that time, Baker was already locked in, and Ty Haley and Hugh Jackson do not run the same exact offense. Hence, they had to let go both of them, and they kept Freddie Kitchen, who does run the same offense, and voila, we got 2 more wins out of the last 3 games. So I think that was more so of it. I think that was Baker's breaking point, was when he threw Ty Haley under the bus. I think that's when you kind of lost Hugh, and that's why you want to call him fake, because it'll be a we thing, and then it's a well, I say this, but it was a we at the end of the day, or it's revolting. When anything bad happened, it was a we. Anything good, there was no good really, so it really wasn't a whole lot to take claim for. But I guess he just, maybe Baker wanted him to accept accountability for that losing, because at the end of the day, that's what it was, dude. You did not win any games, and then he want to say we didn't win enough games, like it's the team. It's the same, and that's what Baker says. It's the same exact team. Nothing really changed, but we got new play callers that we believe in, and that's where I feel like that shade came in from. That is because Hugh kept saying things like Baker would be great as long as they surround him around the right people, the right talent, or whatever have you. And I mean, he didn't really like dog Baker, but at the same time, in him trying to like say that Baker's the future and this and that, he kind of dogged the team a little bit, trying to say that the team wasn't good enough, the team surrounding him right now isn't good enough for Baker to be successful, and now they're starting to prove him wrong. So that's my take on it. You know what I mean? Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. If y'all feel differently. But I honestly think, I don't think it was any of that Hard Knock stuff. I don't think it was any of that. I think from that point, when he said that, that's when we seen that Baker was like, man, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And given the opportunity, he let go on him. So I just wanted to chime in on that. I like it, honestly. Baker's being our quarterback, him bringing that rivalry back, bringing that old school type football mentality, because, you know, yeah, it's a business. I get that. You know, you get paid and this, that, and third. Players go to different teams. But what happened to, like, the tradition? I think he's a football nerd, a football geek. He probably goes back to, like, the old days, back when, like it was, like, gang shit. Like, it was us, fuck everybody. And that's what we got to be. That's why he's our quarterback, because it's always been the Browns, been the laughing stock. And now that we got our quarterback that got the moxie, that got the it factor, that got that Jordan, LeBron, you know, type of thing going on with himself, and to be like, look, it's already been us against the world, and Baker is accepting that role. It's us against the world. This is his team. There's no better team for Baker right now than the Browns, because he's going to turn it around, and he's going to have us on top again. And I'm just excited, man. I'm glad we got him as our quarterback. And the fact that Hugh Jackson never ever also really co-signed Baker. It seemed like he wanted Deshaun Watson and he wanted Carson Wentz more. You know what I'm saying? Especially when TJ Houshmandzadeh said what he said, that would rub me the wrong way too, because you saying all these things about, like, all right, well, Myles Garrett or whatever like that, between, you know, Mahomes and this, that, and third, who was already Baker's rival before. Y'all talking about Mahomes and this, that, and you talking about how much you love the kid, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that. You can't say that around a competitor like Baker. So, yeah, man, that's just my take on it, man. I got to get off this thing before it gets too long. All right, peace.